Okay, I see people are still filing in, but let's get things underway. We're at a minute past the hour. Yeah, good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Welcome to our regular farmer office hours. We're thrilled to have you join us today via Discord and what should be our live stream on YouTube. Whether you're watching from home or tuning in on the go, thank you for making the time to be here with us. Um, this session represents a return to our normal programming, and we do expect to be resuming our regular bi-weekly cadence, notwithstanding any special announcements or specific community calls we're going to have to slot into that schedule. Today, I'm joined by some fantastic individuals from our ecosystem team. First, let's give a warm welcome to Randy, who has recently joined the team from the community. Many of you will already know him as Weasel, spelt Wezel, W-E-Z-L, from our Discord, where he's very active in supporting our lovely community of farmers. Would you like to say hello to the nice people, Randy?
Hello. Thank you, Jim. It's great to be here. A little different to be on this side of the event, but very excited about what's to come, and look forward to doing many of these farmer office hours. Thank you.
So I put your teeth in, Randy. Yeah, we are particularly excited to have Randy on board, and look forward to the new perspectives he will bring. He's joined us to help out as a technical community manager, and arrives here after a very similar journey to Emil and myself. It's been noticed as an active community member who's always happy to contribute to the ecosystem. So we asked him to try out for the team, and the rest is history. And now he sits on this side of the table with us, um, which is a great point to introduce our other co-host, of course, Emil. Emil is our developer community manager and currently has his nose to the grindstone on a number of exciting initiatives to engage with and grow our builder ecosystem. Are you there, Emil?
Hey everyone, hey Jim. Yeah, excited to be here. And finally, we're having our long-awaited Farmers Office Hours, which I'm sure community is also excited about as well.
Absolutely. This is our triumphant right of return after a small hiatus. We have been heads down on something important. All will be revealed in time, of course. Okay, finally, I'm Jim. I'm the head of ecosystem and I deliver what I say on the tin. I'm ultimately responsible for the community and the ecosystem in the wider context. Any problems that don't fit into the regular buckets, you're always very welcome to bring them to me. And for any newbies out there, to keep up with any and all future announcements, please keep an eye on our socials. So Telegram, Discord, Twitter, and our forum. I dare say we're going to drop some forum links in the chat shortly, so you'll be able to find that if you've not seen it before. So today our session is packed with insightful discussions and updates. We'll be digging into the latest developments, including our new version updates, status report on Gemini 3H, our set pieces, and much more. Remember, this is an interactive session, so please feel free to raise your hand in Discord, or post any questions you may have in the event stage chat on your right there at any point during the call. So our goal for today, as ever on Farmer Office Hours, is not just to keep you updated, but to foster a lively exchange of ideas, answer your questions, and help you get the most out of Subspace. So let's make it another productive session together. And without further ado, let's hand over to Randy, who's going to deliver one of our, as I mentioned, regular set pieces, the state of the network. Randy, can you take it away for us?
Absolutely. Thanks, Jim. So, status of Gemini 3H. We have been growing by leaps and bounds. We currently have over 8,700 nodes. And the space pledged, I should probably check that again. I checked it last night and we were about at 112. And then this morning, 117 petabytes. So this is just growing like crazy, much higher than the prior test network. So it's pretty exciting. As far as latest versions, well, we did have a new release today. So we have a May 1st release of Advanced CLI. and Space Acres 0.1.16. And I'll be going over some of that information in a minute, what the changes were. And as far as the whales, we do a whale watch each time. We do have 20 subspace whales that all have over 20,000 TSSC, and the top whale has almost 40,000. I was hoping to be a whale myself. Many of you know that I'm a big fan of Subspace, and I have quite a few different plotters going. But I only have 6,700. I'm ranked 34, so I've got a long way to go to hit the whale list. But anyway, the network is going really well, growing day by day, and we're very happy about the way things are progressing. Next up on the list is to talk about the new version. Like I said, we did have a new version today. We've had a couple new releases in the last week or so. I just wanted to go over a few of these items from there. These are mainly from the GitHub list of improvements. But one major change was on the advanced CLI, the farm during initial plotting was removed. So it's just automatic now. If you have more than 8 threads available, it will go ahead and do that. The node now starts up faster. And there was an error that came with when resizing plots, and that has been solved. And there is some additional information now when you start up the farmer that talks about the different CPU cores that are the very specific CPU cores that are used for plotting and replotting. So that can help in troubleshooting and trying to make things as efficient as possible. And there's a change where a fix where the level 3 cache groups are now respected when you use sector encoding concurrency along with plotting or replotting thread pool size. Kind of a very specific configuration, but that was addressed. And a performance improvement. One of the things that we've discovered is that a lot of people are running on servers or PCs with lots of cores, but they're only running one solid state disk. And we noticed that in order to get the best efficiency out of those CPU cores, a lot of people have been recommended to split their farm up into multiple plots on the same drive in order to better take advantage of the processor. However, single farms can now encode any number of sectors concurrently. Quote from Nazar is that it starts multiple sectors at the same time. Doesn't mean that previous sectors are done yet, and you no longer need to split your farm into multiple smaller ones to leverage that CPU. It'll work efficiently out of the box. So that's good news. That's it for the updates. Although I want to mention one other thing. The update today was a security update to address a vulnerability, so it is encouraged to upgrade as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Randy. So I just want to pull out the phenomenal growth. How many petabytes is it we're at now? So 117. So for perspective, we hit just a shade over 13 petabytes on Gemini 3G. Well, it's not going to be much longer, and we're going to be at 10 times the size of the previous network. I guess we shouldn't be that surprised after the farmer community smashed through our space race target so quickly. But yeah, the continued growth is wonderful to see. There are some great charts that Daria produces and puts on the forum. If you search for dynamic 3H, that should get you them on the forum. You'll see that periodically she's updating the chart, and you'll see the space pledge to grow over time. But amazing, absolutely amazing numbers. And today's release, very important, of course. Delay upgrade at your own peril, or risk, I should probably say, because it does address a CVE that hasn't been announced yet. Nazar's obviously looking out for everyone. Advice from the team is to get upgraded as quickly as possible. So I'm going to cover a couple of hot topics that we've had recently. We do read everything in the community. For a while now, we've been in a phase of relative stability where there haven't been a huge number of updates. There haven't been a huge number of issues preventing people from farming. But yeah, just recently we've had some releases, as Randy mentioned. So the first hot topic that we noticed recently, all resolved now, but we did see an issue with the farm JSON config file becoming corrupted after upgrade. Excuse me, which ultimately it boiled down to yet another difference between the way Windows and Linux lock files. Of course, if you missed all the drama because there was a flurry of releases to fix it, then all you need to worry about is making sure that you're on the latest version. And yeah, if you didn't resize your any of your plots, you won't have experienced it. I didn't actually get it because I'm boring. I'm not playing around with my farm at the moment. So that was one hot topic. Another hot topic was that Nazar did upgrade so we import the Substrate library, which is like a framework for building blockchains on. And after upgrading to the latest version of Substrate in our code base, we lost those messages. You've probably seen them if you run the advanced CLI. You've probably seen accepted connection 1 of 100, I think it is, and 2 of 100 as your farmer and any plots connect up to the node. Don't worry that they're not there anymore. That was a side effect of updating the Substrate version. I did see a comment that they're reassuring, but we don't have a plan to re-implement them, I'm afraid. I guess check your farm. I'll make sure that it's happy and you can see that it's connected to your node okay. I did read some interesting threads on the forum, really covering issues which related to having lots and lots of farms being connected to the same node. We do, I think, yeah, we're going to talk on this in a little bit more detail, but Nazar is working on something to address this issue, and other issues about scaling your farming operation in a wider context. So I look forward to hearing about that in a minute. Okay, I've got a repeat point here released today that addresses the CVE, best for farmers to upgrade ASAP. And yeah, the other hot topic, again, we're going to talk on it a little bit more in a while, is the GPU plotter. There's a third-party GPU plotter since we last had Farmer Office Hours, which has appeared. So we are happy to ask any questions that we know the answers to, but you have to bear in mind that it is closed source. It's provided by a third party. Subspace is an open source. It's a protocol, so anyone can write their own client, of course. But yeah, if you have burning questions, pop them in the chat, and if we can answer them, we will take a stab today. But I think we're going to drop some information about another GPU plotter, if I'm not very much mistaken. So, Randy, do you mind filling us in on some of the DevSync items that came up on Monday?
Absolutely. So if you haven't watched the DevSync video, it contains a lot of information, but I'm going to go over a couple of the points that are very interesting, especially to myself. One of the issues that we have, most people, they're farming 1 or 2 PCs, but there's some of us who have quite a few more. When you scale up with quite a few PCs, there are a few issues that can arise. One of which is duplicated data, which is the same information is downloaded multiple times to each computer. Overloaded nodes. You can connect almost as many farmers to a node as you want. You can even increase that 100 limit higher. But you can have, if you have too many, when a replot starts, the nodes can go out of sync for 20 to 40 minutes. There's no redundancy. While you can set up a node for each farmer, most of us have multiple farmers for each node. If something happens to that node, the connected farmers will sit idle. And then there's some wasted resources. Unless all your farmers are plotting with the same drives at the same time, you'll end up with some farmers with nothing to plot and others with a backlog of plots to create. So this issue has been brought up to Nazar, and he's actually working on a solution that we're, I think, tentatively calling the farmer cluster. And at the high level, it does three things. It's more composable, which means it's a highly composable system that provides, this is a Google search I did to get a good description here. It provides components that can be selected and assembled in various combinations to satisfy specific user requirements. And that'll make more sense in a minute here. It's more resilient. Components will have backups or failovers, and it's more efficient in that resources can be shared between farmers. And how's this going to work? Well, the farmer will be able to be split into 4 different components. Each of those components you can run one or more of. The first one is a controller, and the controller can connect to a node. And we have cache nodes that can connect to a controller and contain a cache that can be shared among your farmers. Farmers then connect to the cache node, and plotters that create and update plots, they'll have the ability to share resources with other farmers. And this is really cool because it sounds like, from what I'm reading, that we will have the ability to share CPU resources between any of your farmers. So it's almost like not just a GPU farm, but a CPU farm. So this is really exciting for me. So I can't wait for that. As far as the official GPU plotter, we did receive an early implementation of that plotter, and some testing was done to compare the difference between a Threadripper 3990 64-core CPU and a 4090 GPU. While the test wasn't fully optimized for the Threadripper, Nazar saw over 100 times improvement. So I'll say that again, 100 times improvement. That's pretty crazy. Once we get a more complete implementation, we will likely have some test builds available for the community, and AMD support will be coming as well. And finally, verified farmer role. A lot of people join Discord and they'll say, hey, how can I get this role or that role? And we've kind of turned off some of these role assignments for now, but one that's coming is a verified farmer role. And it'll be a way to connect your Discord account to Astro. And once your wallet has been connected and you receive at least 1 block reward, you can be granted the role of verified farmer. So that's pretty cool. That's it for me, Jim.
Hey, thanks, Randy. Some super exciting stuff there. I hazard a guess that farming cluster, the issue I've linked there, the GitHub issue, possibly with 20 thumbs up, is one of our most popular requested features in issues. And sounds like there's been progress on the official GPU plotter, which is wonderful to hear. I know that it's a hot topic, a perennial hot topic amongst the community, of course. A big impact there. Thanks, Randy. Okay, Emil, are you going to give us an update on the docs contest?
Yeah, absolutely. As I'm pretty sure most of you or all of you know that we've been running a documentation contest since August last year. And we were giving away 250 USDC a month for the best contribution of the month ever since the last August. And in the last 9 months, we've got over 45 amazing contributions. And we realized that we've gotten our documentation into a state where pretty much no further changes are needed. And of course, that's thanks to you, our amazing community, for all the improvements that you've worked on. And secondly, we realized that we no longer introduce any critical changes, meaning that pretty much every feature that we wanted to be available for Subspace is kind of already there and working stably. So that's why you haven't really seen any breaking changes to our documentation lately. That being said, and that this kind of internal discussions resulted in us deciding to finish our documentation contest. So starting May, we no longer be rewarding the best contributions of the month. And as for some of the honorable mentions, as I mentioned, we've got tons of contributions from you, from the amazing community. But I would like to give a special thank you to Seroga Leshy, Mathematic W, Gvozdev, Roman Lapget, or aka Zolkes, and Queen for your contributions. These guys have been absolutely outstanding in contributing to the documentation and getting it into the current state when it's all available to, when it's all super readable and available to the general community. But still, even though we are, the contributions to documentation will no longer be incentivized. If you see any typos or if you still want to contribute, please do so. It's just, we're still going to be reviewing your PRs. And of course, we'll be super happy to see anything that that you can add to our documentation. It's just your contributions will no longer be incentivized. But if you're willing to contribute, there's still plenty of other contests that are still ongoing. So first of all, the translation contest where we pay 50 USDC a month to the top translation contributor is still up. So if you speak any other languages than English, please feel free to contribute, and you will still be rewarded for it. We still have our Space Acres bounty board up and running. So if you know some Rust, or if you're willing to learn some Rust, please feel free to check out the bounty board, pick one of the issues, and try to implement some features for the Space Acres. So for anyone interested, there is still plenty of ways to contribute. And as always, all of your contributions are very, very appreciated. It's back to you, Jim.
Thanks, Emil. Shout out to the to everyone who participated. We wouldn't be where we are without our community. We really appreciate everyone who entered, and we tried to celebrate everyone who won, which has been a great journey to go on. And of course, there's no reason we can't bring it back if we go through more turbulent times. And we need to move fast. We will absolutely ask our community to help us out, and reward them for valuable contributions. Okay, so I want to change tack for a minute. I want to talk about the incentivized testnet a little bit. For the benefit of those who are unaware, we currently have an incentivized testnet well underway. It's been running since last September and across several network iterations. So it started on 3F, it's been through 3G, and we kicked off 3H with the mini space race. There's a very generous reward pool of mainnet tokens, which is constantly growing attached to the testnet. This means, of course, that it both lights a fire under us to release mainnet, and it ensures it makes sense for new farmers to join the network at any stage. Even now, especially now, I would say, with mainnet approaching. The testnet is a cornerstone of our roadmap to mainnet, providing not only a testing ground for new features, but also a way to engage deeply with our community members, who are the backbone of our network. Recently, we've been asked about our intentions and goals for the incentivized portion, and I think you all deserve a few insights into what we want to achieve here. We have several key goals. First and foremost, it's designed to rigorously test the resilience and efficiency of our blockchain under real-world conditions, so at scale. For farmers, this looks mainly like providing consensus through farming the space they pledge, which has been, as I mentioned earlier, it's actually been pretty stable and not requiring big updates recently. But we also have our domains, which are, for those who don't know, these are our decoupled execution environments, and that's where our operators and their nominators work and play. Operators provide the network with the ability to execute transactions and main state, much like Ethereum, and this is where we have a number of existing and pending changes we need to shake down. Specifically, we've been testing deployment of a number of infrastructure projects on our EVM compatible domain, which we call Nova. I know that some eagle-eyed repo watchers have noticed that we're working on some exciting use cases sitting on top of domains, and we are very excited to explore those with you when the time is right. But all this needs testing and iterating on as necessary, as I'm sure you're aware the software development cycle goes. In addition to the domains themselves, we also need to shake down the changes we've made to staking. We actually have a staking version 2. There are some changes that you'll see, and there's some changes that are in the background. And along with the staking v2, we have enhancements and bug fixes to domains in general. So things like fixing fraud proofs and that type of thing. Kind of back end stuff that maybe you'll never see, but very important for the security of the network. We have previously talked about focusing community engagement on this side of things, on the execution side of things through Stake Wars 2, where participants will be able to earn rewards by executing transactions or earning a yield through staking. Just to reassure you, this is still firmly in our sights, and you can expect updates will be forthcoming. But it's another one of our goals. It's something else we need to achieve on our incentivized network. Right. Disclaimer: we do not have a firm timeline. I'm surprised I haven't seen the chat lit up with the question, but what we do have are some interesting updates on the continuing GPU plotter saga. I don't want to over-index on the story so far here, but if we get the GPU plotter before mainnet, it would be prudent to give it a good testing here, where the stakes are lower. And that will allow us to understand it works and its characteristics, so everyone can plan for mainnet accordingly. This is a goal, in capitals, a goal, not a foregone conclusion. And I urge you to always check out our bi-weekly DevSync videos, which drop every other Monday. That is where the real alpha is always dropped on this particular exciting subject. I'm just going to link the latest one in the chat there. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please feel free to. You'll get a notification every other Monday about our DevSync videos. Randy gave us an update earlier, but I'm particularly stoked to hear the performance numbers being bandied around. Amazing. And the confirmation that we plan to support AMD platforms after NVIDIA. This significant boost to plotting speed that we're talking about here, it's such a big deal in the farmer world, as I'm sure you're all aware. And as if GPU plotting was not enough, Nazar has also been making strides on rethinking the way our farmer operations can be composed with the farming cluster. Again, Randy gave us a great update there. The flexibility, this new role-based configuration or way of configuring Willifall represents a non-trivial change to our operations, and testing and debugging it pre-mainnet on Gemini makes a lot of sense. Community participation is crucial. I keep saying it, and it's absolutely. We rely on your feedback to iterate and improve. This testnet is an invitation to help us shape the network's future, ensuring that we build a robust and scalable platform. All that while earning mainnet rewards. I want to make sure everyone is aware we have not set an end date for the reward pot accrual, and it's shaping up to be a very healthy looking amount of rewards that our incentivized testnet farmers will see a share of on mainnet. So to close, we are on an ambitious journey to reach our mainnet launch, and every test, every feedback point from you brings us closer to that goal. We encourage you to participate, engage, and help us push things forward. Together, we can build a resilient, efficient, and community-forged blockchain. Hopefully that makes sense. It might not be so visible to you, but we are still building in the background. And I think it's a fair point. What are our goals for the incentivized testnet? So hopefully that goes some way to answering that question. Okay, I think we're going to hop back over to Emil, who's going to give us a recap of an event that we attended recently. We went mob-handed, didn't we, Emil?
Yeah, absolutely. So a few weeks ago in mid-April, 4 team members from Subspace participated in the IIW. IIW stands for the Internet Identity Workshop, and that's the in-person unconference in Mountain View, California. What does it mean when I say it's unconference? This workshop has no speakers. There are no keynotes, no panels, nothing. And all sessions are breakouts, and the topics that are chosen and led by participants. And usually the main topics for the workshop are built around self-sovereign identity, blockchain-based identity, and kind of related systems. And usually the identity is just a starting point. Many other topics come up and move forward as well. And some other hot topics included personal clouds, privacy, data liberation, verifiable claims, decentralized identifiers, transparency, VRM, the indie web, the Internet of Things, semantic web, trust frameworks, free and open devices, etc. So there is quite a lot of discussions on many different interesting topics. The IIW takes place 2 times a year since 2005, and it brings together the largest concentration on the planet of talent dedicated to designing and building identity systems that empower individuals. I also like the quote from the MIDEX chairman describing IIW, just to make sure that you understand what the event is all about. IIW is a melting pot out of which emerge ideas to change the world. And each member of Subspace team who participated in the event definitely felt this way. We absolutely love that IIW had a flat structure, which means that there are experts debating with some other experts and posing critical questions. And usually all of the kind of sessions are built around the discussions on a specific topic. And each person will have a different kind of point of view and bring their kind of topics and point of views to the table. And by kind of debating and by discussing them, everyone comes to kind of one conclusion, usually. Subspace team members hosted 3 sessions, and we talked about digital identity and the role of blockchains in the DID world. We also talked about proof of personhood and authenticity of online content in the age of AI. So these are all the things that Subspace is kind of thinking about and are working really hard on proposing some of the solutions to the problems in the industry. But why it was useful, why we participated. First of all, of course, we were able to network with some of the most well-known industry experts. There were a lot of people kind of on the workshop, which we have known from kind of different YouTube videos, from different foundations, which were talked to online beforehand, but we've never seen them in person. And here we had a chance to chat with them, sit on the table, sit on the sessions, have a meal together, and kind of talk with them about all the topics that we're interested in, which was absolutely fantastic. We had a chance to present and talk through our vision about our products and our goals, and get a critical feedback through the series of conversations. As I mentioned, there were quite a lot of different experts from different fields, so it was absolutely fantastic to get different opinions, which will definitely shape the future of the products that we're working on. And we also got familiar with some of the established communities in the industry. And now we'll be very closely following them and even planning to collaborate with some of them in the future. I just wanted to briefly provide a recap for the IIW. Hopefully, this won't be the last time our team participated, because the next IIW schedule is around the Halloween time, so in late October this year. And we're definitely going to be there demoing our products and presenting and talking about kind of our products and our vision. So if you're in the area, if you are also planning to participate, please reach out to us, and we'll be happy to see and meet you there as well. Thanks, Jim. That's all in mind.
Thanks, Emil. Always love to hear about a Subspace field trip. Unfortunately, I couldn't go on this one, but yeah, great insights and feedback garnered from the Internet Identity Workshop there. Thanks for the rundown, Emil. Okay, so it's question time, guys. So if you haven't already, please do pop a question into the chat. I'm going to scroll up and try and find any question mark questions. I can see there's a lively debate about centralization. So Dragon P's involved. Dragon P actually asked a great question recently on the forum about protections against pooling and centralization in general. There's the Subspace, the protocol has been designed from the ground up to avoid centralization. Is something we pride ourselves on. We have vote rewards, and the number of vote rewards per block is adjustable. If the driver for pooling is because it takes so long to earn a reward, which seems to be the main driver in other protocols that people are comparing us against. We have ways to combat that, and they're baked in at the protocol level. But as I say, there is a forum thread. Maybe we can, or someone will be kind enough to dig it out. And if you've got burning questions about how that works or the maths behind it, feel free to post there. That's the best place because you'll get responses from developers and researchers in there. But yeah, whale's gonna whale, guys. Ultimately, if you've got the biggest hard drive, you're gonna earn the most rewards. Okay, I'm going to scroll up quickly. Okay, so first question from Life A. When will the pledge start? Are you asking when mainnet? I see that coming. I see that question has been asked a few times. If you mean by when will the pledge start, when mainnet, we haven't. The date that we are targeting is this quarter, so June the 30th. If that changes, you can expect that there will be lots of big announcements about that. I know that we're going to be asked that a few more times. When will 3H end at plan from Joss? So we haven't got a firm date, Joss. We expect that Gemini 3H will run up to some point just before mainnet, but we haven't got a date to give you, I'm afraid. Okay, Kier. In previous AMAs, it was mentioned that the farmer is now optimized for SSD. Is it still relevant to use HDD now? So interesting question. The process of farming, the process of solving the puzzle requires a lot of random read. Okay, that's the characteristics of the farming process. Now, hard drives spinning Rust just physically can't move quickly enough to keep up with that process. There is an argument to say that you could plot to a hard drive because the write is sequential, but you'd still need the SSD to actually farm those plots on. So hopefully that makes sense. I mean, there is no plan to support farming on hard drives, I'm afraid. When will the token public sale begin? Is still planned from Joss. I don't have any information to give you, Joss, I'm afraid. Do we plan to rebrand? You can expect, Joss, that if we are going to rebrand, there would be a coordinated marketing effort to make sure that that rebrand was announced loudly and clearly. Capybara, when will the farming clusters be ready? So I don't know if we've got Nazar on the call. I wouldn't hold him to a date anyway. I know that progress is being made. You could follow along in GitHub on progress, Capybara. Again, I'm afraid I don't have a firm date. It's difficult to get a really accurate estimate. And as soon as we say a date, we'll be. We don't want to disappoint you if we can't hit it. If we hit some problem on the road. Joss, when will the GPU be released if the Subspace team has the plan? So we're getting closer. We're getting stats from Supranational, who are producing the code that is going to be core to the GPU plotter. So there's going to need to be a process of they hand that code over, and then we're going to need to integrate it into our existing farmer code base. So don't have a date, but maybe you can get a feel for where we are on that path. Okay, and another question from Joss. And will the K value of the difficulty level of the plotting be adjusted when accessing the mainnet? So for anyone who doesn't know, the K value is all about the difficulty. Adjusting the K value directly affects the time it takes to produce a plot. I haven't seen anything about us adjusting the K value, Josh. I don't think that it's in the plan to. Okay. Joss, the most core question, is the mainnet kickoff still planned before June the 30th? Yes. Will it be postponed again based on the current progress? You can expect us to make an announcement if that's going to be the case, Joss. Farming cluster does sound fantastic, Unitic. I agree. Okay, if anyone does have a question that I haven't covered, please repost it because I can't see any more question marks. Okay, I see some debate. Oh, okay. Neo asked the same question. Will plotting difficulty be adjusted for mainnet? I can't see anyone from the team who would confirm that it isn't. I've certainly not seen any plans to, as I mentioned, Neo. Oh, okay. Sorry if I caused offence with spinning Rust Reborn. Good luck on your interview, Punky. Okay. Sorry, someone just came off mute. Did I miss something?
No, I just wanted to quickly add that I've spoken to Nazar this morning, and he also we chatted a bit about the decay and whether there is a plan to adjust it anytime soon. And he confirmed that for now the team is not planning to adjust any of difficulty parameters.
Thanks for confirming, Emil. That was my impression. Svarta, can we expect official GPU plotter before mainnet? I can't confirm that, but we will have to see how quickly Supranational hand over the code and how quickly we can implement it. Okay. Don't seem to have any more questions, guys. What I'll do is I've got. I want to talk a little bit about the ambassador program. I can see BitSecret is typing, so I'll come back and see if there are any questions before we close out. But let me just. Will the GPU plotters support older NVIDIA cards? There is a conversation somewhere in Discord. I don't know if someone can find it and link it in the chat about exactly which versions are. I think it comes down to the feature set of the chips, but I believe it is talked about. I think we can confirm back to a certain point, and before that, it's uncertain at this point. But there is a discussion somewhere in Discord. I definitely read that. Okay, so let me just drop this link here quickly. So as we're getting towards the end of the call now, I'd like to just take a minute to talk about an incredible opportunity here at Subspace, the Global Ambassador Program. This initiative invites all enthusiasts from the Web3 and AI communities to join our dynamic team of ambassadors. Whether you're a developer, designer, writer, or simply passionate about the future of technology, there's a place for you in our ambassador crew. By becoming a Subspace ambassador, you can represent one of the most innovative projects at the intersection of AI and blockchain. Our program offers a unique chance to engage with global initiatives, drive meaningful change, and contribute to a movement that's about reshaping the entire industry. If you're interested in making a difference with us, the process to join is straightforward. Just visit our forum, that link that I've just posted, and fill out your application form. But be aware, the deadline is coming up soon. It's May the 3rd 2024 for those watching this in 2025. So don't miss your chance to be part of something extraordinary. That's this Friday for everyone on the call. Your passion and energy are what fuel us, and we're eager to welcome more vibrant individuals into our community. So apply today, join our mission, and help us shape the future of technology. Let's make the future exciting together. And please do follow that link. Okay, yeah, Punky. So I say it quite frequently, but our ambassador program is like our family within a family. Okay, I can't see any more questions, guys. So unless there's anything from the panel, we could probably give people a few minutes back today. I've got a little closeout. Emil, Randy, anything to add?
Oh, not on
I'm
mine.
good.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us today. So as we wrap up today's session, I want to express our heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for joining us. Your engagement and questions have made this another event to be remembered, and we appreciate your continued support and enthusiasm for what we're building here at Subspace. We discussed some interesting topics, the latest developments from Nizar and the team that are being delivered in the software for our Gemini 3H incentivized testnet. So, and don't forget, of course, about our upcoming Stake Wars 2 initiative and other exciting events that we've lined up. You need to stay tuned to our channels for the dates and details. We encourage everyone to get involved. Whether it's by contributing to translations on Crowdin, joining our ambassador program, or simply participating in our community discussions like today. Your contributions are what make our network strong and our community vibrant. Thank you once again for spending your time with us. Keep an eye on our Telegram, Discord, Twitter, and forum for future announcements. Big things coming soon. We look forward to seeing you at our next event. And until then, keep farming, keep questioning, and as always, stay connected. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for joining, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.